Hey, welcome back. It's OFSAA Day here at Richardson Stadium, back with Game 4 of OFSAA Ultimate Action. This game features the Lions versus the Bulldogs. Looking forward to getting it started, and that's the Leamington Lions and the Sir Winston Churchill Bulldogs. Bulldogs put on a strong performance earlier today in Game 2, and we're looking forward to seeing what they do in this game here against the Lions, and we look forward to seeing what the Lions are made of as well. Pinned along the near side, Bulldogs look to try and cycle that one outwards. They rip that one down the near side line. Looking for options here, has plenty of time and space. Now being pinned down along the sideline. Bulldog pass is dropped, and the Bulldogs will have to come back on defense, and we'll see what the Lions offense looks like for the first time here in this game. And that one is zinged way down the field. Accurate pass, but punched away by the Bulldogs defense. A nice accurate long-range pass just couldn't connect. I see the Bulldogs far in their own end, trying to cycle it out. A nice one-handed grab, and then uses two hands to settle it. Bulldogs in their own end, looking for options here. Makes a short-range pass, interception attempt, not there. Passing down the sidelines are the Bulldogs. Cycling it around, number 21 with it now. Throwing it back. And that tries to send that one up the field, running for it, but it is slapped away. That pass just got a little too much loft on it, and the hammer throw there from the Lions is dived on and caught. And a beautiful catch there by the Lions, and he just does a good old bat toss, but in Ultimate Frisbee, by doing a Frisbee toss there with the Frisbee. What a diving catch there to save the play, and what a diving catch to get the point and complete that. Beautiful work.
So far, both the teams are putting on a show. We saw Bulldogs 2 games ago, very fast team, and I think they've met their match right now. The Lions displaying a lot of pace as well. I think that this is going to be a very fast-paced and interesting game, Josh.
Yeah, I do believe so. And if I haven't mentioned it yet, but I'm Josh Miles, joined alongside Grant Newman, of course, and our cameraman, Tristan Messenger, giving you all the camera angles, whether they are terrible or good. You never know what you're going to get with Tristan, but well, it's all for fun and games, right? All for the love of the game. Anyway, the Bulldogs with it now. Looks for options on the near side of the field. Tries to swing it back to the far side. Looking to either go all the way or send that one up the middle. Up the middle now, plenty of options available. Sends that one to the far side, the near side of the field. And a massive hammer throw that is just barely not gotten to, and that one went out of bounds. Originally, that looked like it was just going to be no one's, but it did start to slow down with the wind, and it was pretty close. A good pass made by the Lions there, dropping it back on the near side now, looking for a space, looking for options, finds one back. Number 4 with it now, drops it back even further. Number 9, looking for options, finds number 4 again. Number 4 on the near side, needs help here. 9 and 4 passing back and forth. No one else really getting open at the moment. That pass is put way up in the air. Will it be able to be grabbed? No, it won't. It'll be slapped down by the Bulldogs, and the Bulldogs will get to come back the other way. Bulldogs controlling it on the far side of the field. nearing that end zone there. Using height as the advantage here. The disc carrier is on the far side. Slings that one into the end zone, and that is going to be a point for the Bulldogs. Bulldogs player getting wide open there in a central location in the end zone, and you're not going to miss that one. Well, Grant, what did you think about that play from the Bulldogs there?
It's a great play from the Bulldogs. Good awareness, good efficiency from both of these teams. I think that it's starting off very tight, and it's going to be a very interesting game. I'm really excited to see how this one plays out.
And back, Bulldogs preparing to pull the disc. And he sends that one down flying. That one bouncing around, rolling. And that one will roll out of bounds. Now, a long-range pass attempt run onto by the Lions, but an excellent defensive play by the Bulldogs to save it. Bulldogs sending it back down the other way on the field. They have a break opportunity here if they hustle. Unable to hustle through, and so the defense for the Lions will get back. Slinging the pizza around is the Bulldogs. That one's sent into a central location. A little bit of a disagreement between the players there. And nice pass along nicely. Looking to receive, but a huge blocking punch to send that disc flying out of bounds. What a defensive recovery there for the Lions. Just came in flying. Came in, you could almost say, he came in like a wrecking ball and just hit that one way out of there. Bulldogs with the possession on the far side, dropping it even further out to the far side. Looking to get a central location. They are able to center it, and now they look to head up the far side, making some quick passes here, able to run onto it. A nice fake pass back. Does get the pass back now. Now the Bulldogs look to switch sides. Sends that pass over, but intercepted by the Lions, who read that play perfectly. Bulldogs intercept a high arcing pass, and now they send that one in towards the end zone, but that one is slapped way out into the air and away. Lions with it in their own zone. Long range throw is caught one-handed by number 10 for the Lions. What an exceptional grab. And it's immediately followed up with a highly inaccurate pass out onto the near side.
Holy moly, oh my. Both teams with a very good performance so far, showing off some very good athleticism, especially number 10 with that last grab there. Crazy vert, especially from our POV, just looked like he was soaring through the air. I'm at the edge of my seat right now, Josh. This has been a great game to watch so far.
Nice long range attempt. Almost able to be caught, but just barely slips out of the hands. Always got to be on the lookout for number 10.
He's a very fast and a very efficient player. Very smart. He makes a lot of good decisions, and he creates opportunities and options for his teammates.
I mean, just look at that jump catch play. Like, you know, he's got the insane vertical. He's got the insane vertical height, and you know he's dangerous whenever he's around. He's made some great plays so far. Bulldogs with possession of it now. Bulldogs centralizing it, sending it to the near corner, slinging the dough along. They got that one in a central location. No one picking up the coverage, and the Bulldogs convert for their second point, and they take their first lead of the game.
Good play from the Bulldogs there. I think that the Lions were too focused on the two players on the left and right sides of their end zone, and that opened up the field for one of their players with an open catch. And that's just a good play from the Bulldogs. A very close game so far, with the Bulldogs having a slight edge over them right now.
And now Bulldogs prepare to pull the disc. They send that one down. It's going to slide along nicely, settling between the 40 and 45. The Lions pick that one up. They send that one out towards the far side, looking to cycle it around, dropping it back, putting it out front again. Nice handoff pass. Cutting in, intercepted by the Bulldogs, and then immediately turned over by the Bulldogs. Lions with it again, and he trips. One of the Lions player, number 4, trips over his heels and falls backwards, unable to receive that pass, and the Bulldogs will come back the other way. Bulldogs sending a pass backwards, making some lateral passes while advancing up the field. Bulldogs continue to ladder pass. Bulldogs looking to pass it up the sidelines. Slowing it down, taking their time. Always an option behind for the Bulldogs, it seems. A nice switch up the field, centralizing now. Bulldogs sending it to the far side. Almost there, has to run for it, and he is in. Great passing work there from the Bulldogs. Just elite level passing to get by all the defenders of the Lions. Wouldn't you say so, Grant?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like they just caught the Lions a bit off guard there, moving the disc so efficiently. And I just think that these two lines that were out, the Bulldogs have a advantage over them. And I think that it's going to be a lot closer with this next possession, as the Lions seem to be sending out some of their star players right now.
Indeed, definitely some excellent work there from the Bulldogs to really just dismantle the defense there of the Lions on that last play. Really just break it down, do some, you know, you always have those short range options. That's nice. Everyone was spread out nicely. Location found a good space to settle in, moved around, lost their defenders, and that just set up a nice bang, bang, bang passing play.
Boom, boom, pow.
And now the Bulldogs pull the disc again. However, it is going to be a shallow pull. Lions looking for options. Lions spreading out, but mostly clustered on the far side right now. Look for options in the middle, but no one's around, so he's going to have to try the long ranger, but that one's going to sail way out of bounds. Just not enough support nearby. Bulldogs making some nifty passing plays here. Drifting out of bounds, however, is the disc. A big time block there from number 23 on the Bulldogs, blocking that hard and fast pass from the Lions player, and the Bulldogs will go back to work on offense. Bulldogs looking for options, taking their time with it. Finds player on the far side. Drops it back. Hanging around the 40-yard line. Trying to curve that one in, but not enough curve on it, and the wind, it was not helping there. The Lions with possession of it in their own end. Look to try and get it out. They attempt the long ranger, but it's blocked by the Bulldogs, and they will head back the other way. And a nice Superman punch there from the Lions. Keeps the disc away from the Bulldogs. A long range pass attempt to number 10. And you know he'll catch that all day, every day. Lions pick up their second point.
Very good play and an amazing display of athleticism once again from number 10, showing off that vertical leap and a strong pass as well from his teammates. That's the type of gameplay that the Lions have been pulling off quite a bit so far. They love sending those long passes as they've got some very fast players.
Indeed. This game has probably been, I would say, our closest one of the day.
Yeah.
Two pretty evenly matched teams so far, I would say. Bulldogs playing a little bit faster and a little bit better right now, but the Lions are not that far behind and definitely have the potential to make this an interesting game.
Yeah, Josh, I agree with you on that one. I think it's very tight so far, and who knows what can happen. The Bulldogs do have a slight edge right now, but really it's anyone's game at the moment.
For sure. And the disc is pulled all the way back to the 45 in the Bulldogs end. The Bulldogs coming back down the other way. Switch up the field, send it all the way to the other side. And that, whip it right back to the far side of the field. And the pass is just hucked a little bit too fast and a little bit too low away from the hands of the other Bulldogs players, and they are unable to receive it. But I like the idea of transitioning from near side to far side and just trying to pull defenders one way and go the other. Spinning around are the Lions, trying to find a passing option, but that one is intercepted and blocked, smacked it down by the Bulldogs, and they will pick up another point. Bulldogs leading 4-2 so far here in the first half of OFSAA Ultimate Frisbee. And yeah, definitely some good plays so far. Grant, what have you thought about the Bulldogs' play so far?
Well, I mean, compared to the Lions, they've just got a bit more depth, I think, at the roster, and they're just a little bit more efficient compared to the Lions, and that's what's helping them pull ahead more in this game. I think if the Lions can just communicate a little bit more and try and be a bit faster with their passes, they'll be able to get back into this game.
Indeed, I think both teams have played a really solid game so far, both offensively and defensively. Lions just down by 2 right now on the scoreboard. Bulldogs have made some really adept passing plays to score their points. almost drops the pass, but manages to hold on to it, and the Bulldogs will try and work it down the field. And that kind of trick hammer throw, and the line defender bought it for just long enough to survey to get a good survey of the field and have attackers move around. And a beautiful pass attempt there, just a little bit too low, and that one skims across the ground. Lions with possession on the far side, looking for options here, doesn't have many, is forced to drop it back. Dropped it back again. Needs to pass it out here. Try to slap it, and it's grabbed by the Lions off of a deflection from a Bulldogs player. Slapped by the Bulldog right back to a Lion. Lions send that one down to the far side. Cycling it back. And that really speedy disc toss was intercepted beautifully there by the Bulldogs. And now the Bulldogs will come back down the other way, looking to make some fast passes as they always do. Great passing here. Has to hesitate for a moment. Guarded well. But now they have the opportunity to swing. And that's what they're doing right now. Swinging the field, and the pass could have taken a little bit more time. They aren't able to convert as that pass was a little too low. Had more than enough time to wait a second and perfect that pass, but just a little too rushed.
Very solid play there from the Bulldogs. I love that idea, making those short passes. And when it didn't work out for them in that left side of the field, they looked back and they looked to switch the side of where they were looking to get that point on. And it almost made it through, just a bit low of a pass. But overall, I like that idea there from the Bulldogs.
Definitely the right idea for them. The Bulldogs have been so phenomenal at just swinging across the field, utilizing all the space available to them, utilizing from near side to far side from both boundaries. They've just been so adept at getting it to one side, swinging it back the other way, just drawing defenders away from their players. And there's some great defense there from the Bulldogs as well to prevent the Lions from cashing in on another one. And that's another thing we've seen both teams do so well right so far. It's just defense. Both teams have been playing super solid defensively. Bulldogs with it now. Centralizing it deep in their own zone. Swinging that one around. That pass just unable to be connected on. And now the Lions will gain possession. Lions resetting. Sending that one to the near side. Has some time and space, but collapsing now is the Bulldogs defenders. Lions able to centralize. That's good news for the Lions. The Bulldogs defense doesn't work nearly as well when the players are in the center. Like you were saying earlier, Grant, in games before, their defense really works hard to push them out towards the sides of the boundaries. And the further out to the side they get, the more difficult it is to complete the passes. But, you know, centralizing, just such a strong idea.
100%, Josh. If you're playing against the Bulldogs and they manage to force you out wide, it's pretty much over for you. Once they get you into one side of the field, it's almost impossible to recover from that. I think that the Lions had a good idea there, trying to feed that down the middle instead of looking wide. I do think that the Lions would do well from having some of their players deep, running up just a bit to show for their disc thrower. But other than that, they're playing well when they're on offense.
For sure, and a super long-range throw there from the Lions. No one nearly able to get to that one. Bulldogs back with it, centralized in their own zone. Tries to send that one outwards, but able to be saved, not quite. Able to get the hand on it and able to throw it backwards, but just not really able to get a good throw on it, and the wind just takes that one straight out of bounds. Lions will get a chance to threaten here. Here is the Lions. Surveying the field, looking for options. Throws a pass high, and that one is smacked down by the Bulldogs defense, and now the Bulldogs will go back on the attack. That one sent way far and being run on and intercepted beautifully by number 9 for the Lions, and now sent straight back the other way, but intercepted by the Bulldogs, and it'll go back the other way. Nice long-range wrist cut throw, just unable to find the mark. Lions trying to cycle that one around. Throws that one deep. It's going. It's carrying, and it's going to carry all the way into the football end zone and miss the target. Current score is 4-2 in favor of the Bulldogs, still here in the first half of OFSAA Ultimate Action. Bulldogs with possession, passing it up the field on the near side. Still completing some good pass work here from the Bulldogs. Number 34 with it, looking for teammates. Bulldogs completing some more beautiful passes here as they work down the field. Long range pass, able to be grabbed, but out of bounds. Tried to save it, deflected off the hands, and caught by a teammate. Unfortunately caught out of bounds. And the disc is going to be turned over, and if the Bulldogs hurry here, they could have a very easy conversion, which they will. Bulldogs pick up their 5th point. And Grant, what do you think of just that kind of play there? You know, Bulldogs threatening, it goes out of bounds, Lions get it, and just the pass wasn't made, and just unable to hustle back with the Lions, and just left a bunch of Bulldogs just wide open in the zone.
Oh, I think that the Lions just overcommitted a tad bit much there as that pass didn't work out. But I will also say I was kind of surprised that I still saw so many Bulldogs players down deep in the offensive end, whereas if that pass did work out for the Lions, I feel like, you know, the Lions would have had a very strong opportunity. So maybe a bit of a risky decision there for some of the Bulldogs players, but it worked out, so good for them.
Indeed. You know, a lot of games are just are about risk-taking. You can play more offensively minded, but you run the risk of suffering on defense, or you can run more defensively minded and suffer on offense. The Bulldogs opted to take the risk on putting on some more offense, and it paid off for them. Let's see the Lions with possession. And a beautiful diving catch. Made there by number 4 for the Lions to keep this one up. But it's turned over from by one of his teammates. And now the Bulldogs sprint down the other way. And just barely not in. Still need to get it into the end zone. Not able to use the pivot foot in. And a beautiful diving catch there for the point. 6-2 Bulldogs. And now, Grant, what do you think about just like some solid efforts there from both the Lions player and the Bulldogs player?
Well, I just want to bring attention to that dive from the Bulldogs player. You know, showing off that athleticism, showing off that they're not scared to commit and dive into the turf, commit for the disc. And I also want to say that some good decision making from the Bulldogs too, as one of the players on the Bulldogs was just inches away from getting a point, but instead of trying to advance that Frisbee down more, she recognized that she was under too much pressure, played it back. The Bulldogs took a bit more time, and they managed to convert on that play. So very good play from the Bulldogs, and the Lions as well. They held up, they did their best, but the Bulldogs are just playing phenomenally right now.
Yeah, and indeed, because of time, we are at the halftime mark of this game right now. Usually it is after we hit 7 points, but this game has been going on for a while, so we have hit halftime now here at 6 points. 6-2 Bulldogs is your score going into halftime, and we'll be back shortly. we are back. Halftime is over, and we are getting set here for the second half of OFSAA Ultimate Frisbee action here in Game 4. And Bulldogs leading the Lions 6-2. And the disc is pulled real shallow there. And the Bulldogs will get to start on the 35-yard line. Bulldogs here, looking for options in the center. Caught, and Bulldogs already getting a point here. Bulldogs already on the board here in the second half, leading 7-2 now, and the Bulldogs will pull the disc right after one of the players finishes tying their shoe. And the disc is launched and will bounce and roll back all the way over to the 50-yard line down in line territory. Lions with possession right now, but seem to be trapped in their own end. Not enough players to come and help. Call for help goes out. Players better come and close in quick. Lions once again with possession here. And intercepted by the Bulldogs. Bulldogs going back the other way. If they hurry, this couldn't be an easy point for them. Bulldogs with the long ranger. And that one's caught, and Bulldogs score once again. Bulldogs really just, this game started off close, and the Bulldogs have just really pulled ahead here. Going into the second half, they were up 6-2, and now entering the second half, they've scored 2 really quick points. It seems like the official might be having a little bit of a discussion with some of the players. Not quite sure what the discussion is about. But in the end, the Bulldogs do get their 8th point. Now Bulldogs get ready to pull the disc, and here's the pull. That one's sailing all the way down, way over the heads of all the players. What a beautiful pull that was. Disc ended all the way up on the 2-yard line, all the way in the other end. Beautiful throw. Lions have to work hard to get back into this one. Down 6 points here in the second half with not too much time remaining. Lions go out of bounds here. And now the Bulldogs will have possession. And Bulldogs threatening once more. That one snapped in right into the arms of a Lions player who intercepts that one gladly. Lions trying to push down the other way, drops it back, trying to switch sides. Lions swung the field, and now heading up the far side. Long ranger being run onto, but it's going to drift out of bounds and be snagged. But before it can get out of bounds, it's going to be snagged by the much taller Bulldogs player. Bulldogs with possession in their own end, in the center of the field. Intercepted by the Lions. Lions heading back down the other way. They have numbers. Lions, if they hurry, can get an easy conversion on here, but here comes the defense. Defense coming in. Lions hesitated a little bit too much to make the play. Lions dropping it back. Back out to the far side of the field. We'll see if the Lions trying to swing. Lions throw a high arcing pass, but that one's punched onwards by the Bulldogs. And a far long range pass is thrown and caught, and the Bulldogs score. And the Bulldogs pick up their 9th point off a very good play. Bulldogs with the to punch it forward and then leave it himself and actually just sprint forward as far as possible. Leave it to another teammate to pick it up and send the beautiful pass over. Lions really should have capitalized there on that opportunity where they had a rush chance, but just a little bit too much hesitation, wouldn't you say, Grant?
Yeah, I'd say so, and I think that play from the Bulldogs was a very good example of how making a quick decision after getting an interception is so important in Ultimate Frisbee. He chose, after intercepting the Frisbee, he knew that the Lions were lagging behind. He chose to leave the disc, go for a run because he knew he had speed, he knew he had space, and it worked out for him. That was a very good decision from the Bulldogs.
Indeed. A lot of sports and games, including Ultimate, are not just games of your skill at the sport, but also games of the mind, games of thinking, strategy. When can I do this? When can I do that? When should I do this? When should I do that? Is this play available to me now? All those kinds of things are all that go into games such as these. And the better you are, you could be really mechanically gifted at the sport, but if you have no game sense, then it almost means nothing. Having an elite game sense just can really set you apart as a player. Bulldogs transitioning up the middle, swing it out to the near side, down the near side line, down by the end zone, needs to look for an option, drops it back to 21. 21 with height. Might be able to throw a pass over the head, but number 10 for the Lions isn't falling for that. And number 10, he's got a good vertical as well, so it definitely has a chance to block it. Has to run on for it, but the pass gets carried away by the wind, and the Bulldogs are not able to convert there, and the Lions will try and head back the other way. Lions looking for options. Swinging around, picked up on the near side. Long ranger intercepted by 21 from the Bulldogs, who sends it straight back the other way. Bulldogs coming back down the other way fast. Swinging around, looking for options. Surveying. calls a play, drops it back. 0-0 with it now. So drops it back, but Bulldog player unprepared for it, and that one bounces right off the fingers. Frisbee ripped down the field, but that one sails way over the head of all the allied teammates. Bulldogs with it now on the near side. Looking to make a play. Needs some support down there. Still stuck there in the corner. And that pass goes awry. And the Lions will pick it up in the offensive side of the field. Lions threatening here. Number 11 with it now on the near side. Looking for options. Lions need to spread out. Sending it down the sidelines, but unable to run onto it is number 12. And it'll be turned over back to the Bulldogs, who will get to head back the other way. Disc tried to be zipped down the sidelines, but that one just drifts a little bit out of bounds. Lions with the hammer throw, but that one smacking straight into the ground. The Bulldogs will head back the other way. Bulldogs making some nice quick short passes here. Now they go for the longer ranger, which is perfect. A beautiful setup. No, but short passes into the long range opportunity. That's just the way you like to see it done. Here comes the Bulldogs storming down the other way. One-handed grab, and that's a point for the Bulldogs. Just excellent execution there, Grant, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, there's not much the Lions can do about that there. Just a display of some elite chemistry between the Bulldogs. I mean, they're just back and forth, back and forth. Even I could barely keep up with that play, and I'm not on the field. And to end it off, the amazing one-handed jumping grab was just the cherry on top of that play. Very good play to make it 2-10 for the Bulldogs.
Yes, good, very good. Some would say excellent. But overall, an elite play. Yes, Grant, an elite play. The Bulldogs have hit 10 points. And the Lions are still at 2. We're in the second half here. And in these games, we only played a 13. So the Bulldogs threatening victory here. Oh, and unfortunately, the Lions trying to make a couple passes, just drop it. Sometimes it just happens, and it's unfortunate, but you got to make do with the best of it and just get back on defense, play some solid defense, and then return to your offensive game. Bulldogs looking for options, finds it on the near side. Bulldogs still working down the near side. May look to swing back the other way. Instead, they just try to throw one up, but that one is blocked by the Lions defenders, and it does not go anywhere. Lions trying to bring it back up the field. It's caught in the center back of the Lion zone. And a little bit of a strange wobble on that one. And the Bulldogs will get to go back to work within the Lions zone. Not really sure what happened there. It's just the wind carried funny, or Horse didn't get all on the throw, but that's another point for the Bulldogs off of that strange turnover. And Grant, what do you think the importance of just getting sometimes just getting those kind of bounces, just getting those kinds of, sometimes you just go to throw and it just comes out of the hand wrong. What do you think that does for a team, especially if you're the Bulldogs here and you're looking to capitalize on whatever you can, and if you're the Lions on how you can move forward from when things like happen?
Well, I mean, it can be very discouraging when you get an unlucky bounce like that. And for the Lions, if things like that happen, you just need to move on, because really it's just unfortunate. And I mean, when you get an unfortunate bounce, you just have to think it's just unlucky, but the skill is there, and we are good enough to do that, and you just got to keep trying and keep moving forward. And for the Bulldogs, when something like that happens, that's when you capitalize on those unlucky plays, and that's where those conversions, those points can occur.
Exactly. I think every time the Bulldogs have something like that happen to the other team, it's just further proof that their system's working, their defense is working. Just, ultimately just putting some pressure on, getting in the heads of the opponents for playing such solidly defensively all game long. We know in their first game they didn't give up many points against either. So just a really overall solid defensive team, solid structure, well communicate. They communicate really well.
I think the Bulldogs' defensive formation is something that I haven't seen any other teams use in this tournament so far. And they almost make kind of a diamond shape when they are defending the disc. And it's just cutting off so many angles for the other team. And you might think that it runs the risk of leaving lots of other players open on the opposition. But when you're blocking off those angles, especially in the middle, you end up just allowing passes that don't generate much. And it's been going very well for the Bulldogs, and that's why the Lions, who are, I believe, a very skilled team, haven't been able to generate many points this game.
Yeah, indeed, just a lot of high-pressure defense, just taking away the lanes, really, taking away the passing lanes. And yes, like you said, they may leave a bunch of players open on the sides, but they're generally in non-dangerous locations, and then they have one or two of their taller, faster players left back to guard some of the more dangerous passing opportunities, and we've seen a lot of big blocks and interceptions from them too, and that's just what you can expect all game. Bulldogs with it again after making one of those said blocks. They're moving it down the far side of the field. Swung back the other way, but dropped by the Bulldogs. Long ranger thrown away by the Lions. That one's sailing all the way into the football end zone, just not meeting its mark, and that's just something we've seen time and time again with some teams. Just unfortunately, not a lot of long-range passes have been working out today for many teams. Just seems to not be able to find the mark. Just unfortunate, because the idea is there, and there's definitely some ideas towards long-range passes, and people are getting open. It's just hasn't been there for many teams today. Lions do, however, make a couple nice short-range passes here, and now they are threatening. Lions should look to swing here. And they do. And that gets the Lions another point.
Very good point there from the Lions. And this is going to sound a little ironic saying this, as the Lions just scored a point off of a short pass, but that's been their third point of the game only, and the Bulldogs have 11. I just want to bring attention as to why the Bulldogs defense is so good. Is Josh was just saying how challenging and risky the long passes have been for so many teams so far in this tournament, and that's why the Bulldogs' strategy works so well. They're pushing 4 of their players up, again, leaving space open, but they're making the short and more effective passes so much harder for the Lions right now, and that's why they're a very skilled team, but they're only 3 points in right now. So, yeah, I just wanted to bring attention as to why the Bulldogs are doing so well.
Definitely some good defensive strategizing when done by both the coaches and thought of the players. A lot of practice. Clearly, very well oiled team there. Definitely have a lot of chemistry with each other. Seem to know where each other are at all times. And the Bulldogs with it. Center field. That one thrown way upwards. Tried to run onto it with the Bulldogs, but not able to get there again. The long range pass is just not working out for either team. Here the Lions with it. Trying to send that one around. Able to do so successfully, dropping it back. Bulldogs putting pressure on. Lions have been forced back into their own end zone. Lions trying to switch. And an interception touchdown. Wow. Just absolutely incredible work there from the Bulldogs. And that's one of those cases where the defense becomes the best offense. You just put some good pressure on defensively, get that interception, and bang, that's a point right there. Just intercepting it right in the end zone.
Yeah, very good play there from the Bulldogs. And just an idea I was thinking of when I was watching the Lions trying to get out of their defensive zone well on offense while they had possession. I think when their players are just running around and moving, it kind of breaks down that Bulldogs defense because their whole thing is blocking up the middle and blocking up the options. And if the Lions do whatever they can to show for the Frisbee, that's when they can gain the advantage. So if the Lions want to score some more points in this game, I think they have to start trying to find any space possible and showing for that disc.
Indeed. And as we near the end of this game, I have to remember we are streaming all day long here at Casa. And coming up pretty soon, here is going to be, let's see here, Maple Ridge versus Van Leek Hill. So we'll look forward to catching you at 2 o'clock for that game there. But first, we got to finish off this one. Current score is 12-3 in favor of the Bulldogs. Bulldogs obviously right now 1 away from match point. The Bulldogs do drop it there by center field on the near side. That one whipped down and caught by the Lions. And that flat long range pass does work out for them. And that's just an excellent read there by the Lions players.
That's just a good example of making a fast decision because the Bulldogs, they weren't really set up in their defensive formation fully, and they were scrambling maybe just a little bit, and the Lions player saw a teammate down the line, saw that opportunity, and he took it, and it worked out for them, and they got a point. Very good decision from the Lions.
And the disc is pulled. Well, And that one's going to end up in center field on the near side. See the Bulldogs passing it around, making short passes, quick short passes, storming down the far side of the field now, dropping it back onto the far side. Down the far side line, and unable to receive it are the Bulldogs, and now the Lions will take over. Lions with it deep in their own zone. And they go for a long-range throw, but intercepted by the Bulldogs. Bulldogs working up. That one thrown to the far side, and a lot of open space right now. Thrown centralized. Bulldogs threatening here. Remember, Bulldogs are on match point, and they are getting ever so close to that end zone. Looking to swing the field. Swinging the field now, and they set a long ranger, and it's caught, and that is game. Off an immaculate catch there by the Bulldogs player in the end zone. Off a deflection from the defenders, and that'll do it. The Bulldogs take this game 13-4. Grant, what did you think of the teams in this game?
Well, personally, I think that the score doesn't really define how close this game was. I think it was a lot more competitive than 13-4 sounds. I think that Alliance had a lot of very good chances, and they are a strong team. They're an athletic team. I just think that Bulldogs were so strong on their defense, and they were so in sync that it made it very challenging for the Lions to generate a lot, especially in that second half, as I think the Bulldogs just turned it up as the game progressed. So, very good game from both teams, and I think that both these teams are going to do very well in this tournament. So, yeah, great game overall.
Indeed, and don't go anywhere, because just coming up in 13 minutes, we are going to have our next game here between Maple Ridge and Van Leek Hill, and you don't want to miss that one. Thank you for joining us. And this has been CASA Ultimate Action. I'm Josh Miles, joined alongside Grant Newman.